Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, today we are jumping right into the world of natural remedies, thinking about apothecary traditions.
Yeah, absolutely. And our source for this is 10 natural apothecary recipes and remedies from Green Thyme Wellness. Their tagline is kind of nice. Harvesting wellness, one herb at a time.
I like that. So the basic idea here from the source is looking at how we can use, herbs, roots, oils, traditional stuff.
To support body, mind, spirit. Exactly. And the source presents these as pretty simple, effective recipes. Things you can actually make yourself at home.
Right. And that's our mission for this deep dive, really. Not just to list the 10 recipes, but to unpack them a bit, figure out what they're supposed to do, how you make them.
And maybe get a feel for the thinking behind them.
Yeah, exactly. Give you a bit of a shortcut to understanding these kinds of traditional approaches by looking at these specific examples. What really jumps out at me is how, well, accessible a lot of this seems.
That's a key point the source makes, I think. It's about connecting with that sort of age-old wisdom, maybe, but presenting it practically. Not complex medical stuff, but things you can try at home for common issues, using plants.
Empowering, in a way.
Yeah, using knowledge from tradition.
Okay, so let's unpack this collection then. The source hits a few different areas. Maybe we start with things aimed more at like internal balance, sleep, coughs, that kind of thing.
Sounds good. First one they list is the Calming Chamomile Sleep Tonic.
Okay, chamomile. Pretty well known for sleep.
Right, and this tonic is suggested for insomnia and anxiety. Ingredients are super simple. Just a tablespoon of dried chamomile flowers, teaspoon of lemon balm, cup of hot water.
That's it.
Pretty much.
And you just steep it for 10 minutes, strain it, drink before bed. Seems easy enough. Is there anything special about that combo, chamomile and lemon balm?
Well, according to traditional use, yeah, chamomile has compounds, apigenin is one, that are thought to kind of help you relax, interact with brain receptors, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
And lemon balm has similar traditional associations with calming properties. So the source presents them as a classic pair for winding down.
Makes sense.
They even suggest adding honey, maybe a slice of fresh ginger,
Yeah.
partly for taste, but also those have their own soothing reputations, right?
Yeah, ginger and honey, definitely. Okay, so from winding down, next up, the source has something for coughs and sore throats.
The thyme and honey cough syrup.
Thyme and honey. Interesting.
This one's aimed at, a persistent cough or just a sore throat. You need half a cup of dried thyme, a cup of boiling water, and then 3/4 of a cup of raw honey.
Okay, so steep the thyme, 20 minutes this time. Strain it, then stir in the honey.
Right. Store it in a glass jar. Take a teaspoon every few hours or so.
So why thyme and honey? Is that another classic combo?
Oh, yeah. So source really implies this is a go-to for good reason. Thyme traditionally is often linked with expectorant properties, helping loosen mucus.
Right.
And maybe antispasmodic, so calming the cough, reflex itself. And honey, whatever knows honey coats the throat, right? Yeah, it's very soothing.
Exactly, it's a demulcent. So the idea is you get symptom relief from the honey, and maybe the thyme helps with the underlying cough mechanism, traditionally speaking.
Got it.
But one practical thing the source mentions, which is important, because it's homemade, no preservatives.
It's not going to last forever on the shelf.
Right. Only about 2 weeks, and you need to keep it refrigerated. Good to know.
Definitely. Okay, so moving away from those internal things, let's look at stuff you apply, like externally. The source has a leaf of life healing poultice.
Yeah, this one's suggested for inflammation, skin irritation, insect bites, that sort of thing.
Leaf of life. That's not one I hear about all the time.
Maybe not, depending on where you are. The ingredients are listed as 3 or 4 fresh leaf of life leaves and a teaspoon of turmeric powder.
Okay, fresh leaves. And turmeric, that makes sense for inflammation. So how does a poultice work exactly? Well, the source presents leaf of life as a plant used topically in some traditions, known for being soothing when crushed. A poultice is basically just a soft, moist paste or mash, usually from plants, that you put right on the skin.
Okay.
So here, you'd crush the leaves, mix in the turmeric again. Turmeric's widely used topically in traditional systems for inflammation, and just apply that paste to the area.
And cover it.
Yeah, cover with gauze, maybe for up to 30 minutes. It's about getting that concentrated plant stuff directly onto the problem spot.
Right, direct application. Okay, another external one, but this is for breathing. Herbal steam for sinus relief.
Ah, yeah, for congestion, sinus pressure. This uses herbs that are really aromatic. Eucalyptus leaves, rosemary, and peppermint. A tablespoon of each.
Okay, eucalyptus, rosemary, peppermint. I can almost smell that just thinking about it.
Exactly, they're potent.
And the instructions are basic. Herb is in a bowl, hot water, towel over your head, breathe it in for 10-15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Probably something many of us have tried, right? When you're all stuffed up.
Yep.
And the source points out why these herbs. They're packed with volatile oils. The hot water releases them. You inhale the steam. And those aromatic compounds are traditionally thought to help, open up the nasal passages.
Makes breathing easier.
Yeah, ease breathing, soothe irritation in there. It's using the scent and the steam together.
Okay, now this next one sounds really interesting. A remedy for earaches using garlic. Garlic-infused oil.
Right. The source suggests this for minor ear infections. Just 2 ingredients again. 2 cloves of garlic, 1/4 cup of olive oil.
And you just simmer the garlic gently in the oil. Low heat, 10 minutes.
Yeah, very low heat.
Yeah.
Then strain it, let it cool completely, and then just 1 or 2 drops in the ear.
Garlic is potent, we know that.
Yeah.
But in the ear, how's it supposed to work?
Well, garlic has a long history in traditional use, often associated with antimicrobial properties, though the source isn't making medical claims here, obviously. Yeah. Infusing it in oil is seen as a gentle way to potentially get some of those compounds near the ear canal to soothe discomfort. But, and this is really important, the source includes a major caution.
Okay, what's that?
Never, ever use this if there's any chance the eardrum is ruptured.
Oh, okay. That's critical.
Absolutely critical. And they also stress always see a doctor if symptoms continue. This is framed as a traditional home remedy for minor things, not a replacement for proper medical care.
Understood. That warning is key. Okay, switching back to internal stuff. A digestion. There's a digestive bitters tincture.
Yeah, maybe things like bloating or just feeling sluggish after eating. It uses dandelion root, ginger root, and fennel seeds, a tablespoon of each, steeped in a cup of vodka, or you could use apple cider vinegar.
Okay, a tincture. So this isn't a quick steep like the tea. This takes longer, right?
Right. You put the herbs in a jar, cover them with the vodka or vinegar, seal it up, and let it sit and steep for 2 to 4 weeks. Then strain it.
Weeks. Wow.
Yeah, it takes time. The suggested use is 10 to 15 drops before meals.
So what's the deal with bitters for digestion? Why that specific taste?
It's a concept found in lots of traditional medicine systems. The idea is that tasting something bitter actually triggers your digestive system to gear up.
How so?
It's thought to stimulate saliva, stomach acid, bile, digestive enzymes. Basically gets everything ready to break down food properly. Dandelion root, ginger, fennel, they all fit that profile, traditionally speaking.
And the long steeping extracts more.
That's the idea. Alcohol or vinegar can pull out compounds from things like roots and seeds that water might not dissolve as well. So you get a more concentrated liquid extract compared to just making a tea.
Okay, that makes sense. Now another one for the mouth, but this time a citrus and mint herbal mouthwash.
Right, suggested for fresh breath, maybe helping with gum health. Ingredients are water, dried mint, dried sage, tablespoon each, and the juice of half a lemon.
So simmer the herbs in water. 15 minutes. Cool strain, add lemon juice. Sounds pretty refreshing.
Yeah, it relies on things we associate with freshness. Mint gives you that cool, clean feeling, right? Sage has a long history in traditional apothecary use for the mouth, potentially astringent, cleansing properties. And the lemon adds more freshness, maybe some mild antibacterial action people link with citrus. It's presented as a simple plant-based alternative.
I like the sound of that one.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's one that uses something really common. Oatmeal. A soothing oatmeal bath for skin irritations.
Yes, listed for things like eczema or just generally dry, itchy skin. You need a cup of rolled oats, 2 tablespoons of dried calendula, and a tablespoon of chamomile.
Roll notes, like breakfast oats.
Pretty much. You blend them into a fine powder first, then mix in the dried herbs calendula and chamomile.
Okay, then what?
Tie it all up in a muslin bag or even just some cheesecloth. Drop the whole bag into a warm bath and soak for about 20 minutes.
I've definitely heard of oatmeal baths for itchy skin, like chicken pox or something.
Exactly. Oatmeal itself is known traditionally for being really soothing and protective on the skin. You can kind of form a barrier, help hold moisture in.
Right.
And the source adds calendula and chamomile here, which are like superstars in traditional herbalism for calming skin inflammation. So it's combining the simple oatmeal base with specific soothing herbs.
Nice multitasking there. Okay, another skincare one, and this looks super simple. Rose and aloe skin toner.
Yeah, this one's for hydration, calming redness, just 2 ingredients.
Yeah.
Have a cup of rose water, 2 tablespoons of aloe vera gel.
That's it? Mix them together?
Yep, mix them, put it in a spray bottle, use it as a mist. Couldn't be much easier.
Wow. That sounds lovely, actually.
It does. And again, the source connected to tradition. Rosewater has been used in skincare for ages, right?
Mm,
Across many cultures, valued for being gentle, toning, smells great.
true.
And aloe vera. Well, everyone knows aloe is cooling, soothing, hydrating. So this recipe just combines two really well-known, accessible ingredients for basic skin refreshment and calming.
Simple but sounds effective.
Ah.
Okay, last one, number 10. This one sounds different. Detoxifying charcoal tooth powder.
It does sound different. This is suggested for whitening teeth and detoxifying the mouth. Ingredients are activated charcoal, bentonite clay, and a little baking soda.
Charcoal for teeth.
Yeah, 2 tablespoons activated charcoal, 1 tablespoon bentonite clay, half a teaspoon baking soda. Mix the dry powders really well.
And
Dip a damp toothbrush into the powder, brush gently. They suggest only 2 or 3 times a week, not every day.
brushing with black powder.
That must look wild.
I imagine so. But the source explains the thinking. Activated charcoal and bentonite clay have these, like, porous structures. The theory is they can help bind to impurities, maybe surface stains on the teeth.
Ah, like magnets for gunk.
Sort of, yeah. That's the traditional idea. And baking soda adds a bit of gentle abrasion and helps neutralize acids. So the detoxifying part here seems to refer to that binding and removing action on the mouth surface.
Interesting. A very different approach.
Definitely. So looking at all 10, you really see a pattern, don't you? It's about using ingredients from nature, often things that are fairly easy to find. Yeah, like chamomile, thyme, honey, oats.
Exactly. And using simple methods, teas, syrups, poultices, steams, tinctures, things people have done for a long time to tackle everyday wellness concerns. Sleep, coughs, digestion, skin, mouth, a whole range.
So thinking about this for you, the listener,
Sure.
what does it all mean? Well, if you're dealing with some of these things the source talks about, and, can't sleep sometimes, got a nagging cough, skin's acting up, digestion feels a bit off.
This collection from Green Time Wellness basically suggests, hey, here are some simple home-based options drawn from traditional wisdom that might be worth exploring. They're presented as accessible choices.
Right. Not necessarily replacing other things, but options.
Exactly. And the source kind of wraps up by saying that making your own home apothecary doesn't have to be complicated. It's about bringing that potential healing power of nature closer to home. These 10 recipes are framed as just a starting point, really.
A beginning for maybe your own herbal healing journey, as they put it.
Yeah. They do give some important general advice, too, which we should pass on. Try to source ingredients organically if you can.
Good point.
And crucially, always test anything new you put on your skin on a small patch first, just to make sure you don't react badly.
Smart. Always patch test.
And they also invite you, if you're interested, to follow Green Time Wellness for more recipes and info on this kind of holistic approach.
So lots of practical ideas there.
Definitely. And just maybe the thought to leave you with as you think about these recipes and this whole idea of using plants at home, how might reconnecting with these kinds of simple yet powerful approaches, methods that have been around for centuries, how might that shift your own perspective on wellness and taking care of yourself in today's world? Something to ponder.